Morning everybody, welcome to the fishing stream. It's just do my usual little check so that everything's nice and live. Are we here? Morning everybody. Yeah, we are. Welcome to the fishing stream. Got it, right. We are down the river again this morning. And my son is fishing the pole in a very fast flowing river compared to what it was like last week, and I have chucked a couple of rods out with the attempt to, I don't really know what I'm doing, there's not a lot of heart in what I'm doing. I'm trying to probably hook a chub or a barb or a carp. I've got 2 rods out, as you can see. Oh, hopefully you can see. I've got 2 rods out, one down just past the tree to my left and one I've chucked right over towards the far bank. I've got a pellet on the near side one and I've got a boilie on the far side one. You got any bait on there? And my son is fishing the pole. Just swivel round so you can see. Just turn that up so I can see. And he's fishing the pole, and it's really running through. It's got 3 gram pole float on, and it's hacking through. We have got a flat float with us, but because he's had some bites, he's unkeen to now stop fishing to switch it over. But we're trying to learn about fishing in the river and what kind of gear we need for what situation, because this is the time when we started fishing the river last year, and when it was in, well, not flood, but when there's more water on the river as there is now. There's no bait on there, son. We didn't know what to do, so we've made some changes. I think I need to bring a flask in the future. So I think we'll just sort of be able to watch both things at once. He's catching roach, a couple of bleak, and he let his dad have a go, and I caught roach. Nice roach as well. 4-6 ounces, something like that. It really is pushing through. Ideally, if we'd fish with a stick float, but I'm trying to. There's no bait on there, I don't think. Oh, you're fishing caster now? Okay. If you start holding that back when it's in front of you, are you just trying to run it through naturally? It's so fast. It doesn't get long on a run through. It might be that the maggots are better visibility for the fish. So he's sort of fishing and I'm sort of learning. Even with a flat float. Oh, something's on the left. So I've got a big, I would call it a donkey choker pellet on the left hand rod and a boilie on the right hand rod. Left hand rod is down by this tree, and the boilie's out over there, over the far bank. Just slung it across the river. I don't want to put both in the middle of the river or the far bank, because when a boat comes then I'll have problems bringing both the rods out in time. But yeah, I think we'll get back to roach watch when my son fishing the pole. Certainly the fastest we fished the river on the pole. And we've caught. So I'm happy with that. I said to him the challenge today is catching a fish. And we've caught, for sure. I'm also trying to convince him that fishing a stick float would make this so much easier, but there you go, caught another fish. No, come off. The other thing, son, maybe a small little conker sized bit of ground bait every few fish, maybe that's good as well. Huh? Like a conker size. Because you've got to think about how fast that river's pushing through. Now remember that the water at the top of the river goes faster than the water at the bottom of the river. But I don't know how long there's going to be any resemblance to that ground bait in your peg for. So maybe after the next fish, put another little ball of ground bait in. So if you flick it to the right, hold the pole to the right to slow it down while that Olivet drops down, because I think your rig's not settling until you're way to the left already, which is reducing your run. So flick it up and then put the pole to the right and hold that float back a little bit and let that Olivet sink. That's it. The truth be known, we need to be fishing a 5 gram float today. There's a bite. That's it, so hold it to the right and give that Olivet a chance to sink and then let it go. That's it. Yeah. Morning, Salty. Oh, I thought you were going to turn up last night when I was streaming Galaxies on Twitch. But nice to see you here this morning. Welcome to the channel. I should have just put the camera on a static mount today, I think. Okay, I think I've definitely got a crayfish tapping away at that bait on the left hand rod. Oh, there we go. He's in. Another roach. It's not trying to attract a pike. Let's lift it straight out, shall we? There we go. Yeah. Yeah, New Hope, yeah. Yeah, it's day 4 today. Start grinding droid engineer. Morning, Stephen. Yeah, there's a lot of flow on the river. Can you see? There's a it's well, I'd say it's hacking it through, but I'm sure not for a river angler. And we fished this peg last week on the whip. We sat on the bank and we caught bleak and little chublets. Is that you chucking in a little ball of ground bait? And then I said we'd come back this weekend. Just trying to show my son just how much it changes. He said he wanted to fish the whip, and I said you haven't got a prayer. Just trying to get him to understand how fast it flows and what a change of colour does to it. And so last week we were catching loads of bleak, and to be honest, admittedly we were feeding maggot, but we were catching loads of bleak, little chublets. And this week it's roach. just need to keep reminding you things. So when you put the rig in, hold the rig back straight away. That's it. But yeah, there's plenty of fish moving around here, Stephen. That's for sure. I think it needs to be a 5 gram flat float to fish the pole. But he's catching. Then I've chucked out a couple of rods. One with a big pellet on it, one with a boilie on it. Let's see what happens. See if I can get that angle. Is that alright? There we go. In again. Oh, it's off. Catch and release, Salty. It's all catch and release. Which is interesting because that's where England really differs from, or Great Britain differs from most other places in the world. You know, if you're in the US and everyone's going sea fishing, you know, catching redfish and grouper and snook and, you know, whatever you want, catch it, keep it, kill it, eat it. If you're in a fair bit of Eastern Europe, Poland, Romania, Slovenia, Slovakia, catch it, kill it, keep it, eat it. And then you come to England, everything's catch and release, unless you're fishing a specific trout farm where it's pay some money, catch a couple of little trout, club them over the head and go and eat them for tea, or fish the sea, and then, you know, like other places, size limits. I thought that was the biggest carp of my life then, and it's a dog. No, it's not got a fish. It's got a ball or it's got a stick or whatever the owner threw him for it. You've got to be careful chucking sticks in for his dog.
That was
No, it's not. Keep fishing. He'll lose his dog. Like that. Yeah, maybe. I've got some dendras. I could hair rig some dendras. Yeah. You do your squats, mate, and keep chucking that thing in for your dog to just jump in the river. I appreciate that. It's not as if you can't see me, is it? We were going to fish further up, and then the comments from my son were, "Don't you catch my perch." I'm more interested. I'm interested in those rods, but I'm not committed to those rods. I'm more interested in watching him catch roach. It's a good size roach. That's a small one. It's doing well. Morning, everybody. See, you've all arrived. Welcome to the fishing stream. We are down the River Thames. Yeah, that's it. Keep chucking it in, mate. Keep getting that dog jumping in the river. We are down on my local stretch of the River Thames. The river is flowing very nicely, I would say. I'm sure lots of chub and barbel anglers are getting very excited. We've come back down. Some wanted to fish the pole, so we've come back to the pegs we fished last week, where we were fishing on the whip. He's fishing on the pole today to give him a little bit of a run through. Put the pole to the right and hold it. That's it. And so he's fishing, and we're both learning about pole fishing when the river's got some more water on it, I would say. fish on that, I think. Oh, it's bleak. Maybe put a couple of catapults of caster in. Well, I wouldn't step up to 3 maggots to catch roach. Is it a little chubbler, is it? It's not easy for that dog to swim against that river. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I'll have to switch to some worm. Just watching him run this pole float through. We're fishing this with a stick float, I think. That's the next thing to do. Come back down. Fish it with a stick float. I think my son was put off by the close face reel. His finger wasn't, I don't think his finger's quite long enough. If I changed it to a fixed spool reel, I think I can get him to fish a stick float down here. Well, yeah, £25 pike just gobbles his dog up. I hope not, for his dog's sake. Hold the pole to the right, that's it. But you know, those pike quite happily eat baby ducks. Be sure about that. Be confident in what I'm saying there. Yeah, we put some balls of ground bait in to start, 6 balls. No idea where those balls have gone in terms of getting pushed through from the river. I think that was your bite there, son. He's getting bites down the end of sort of where he can hold it. So maybe try and put some more caster out. If I was that dog, I'd tell him to go and get that stick yourself, to be honest. I'm just going to stop chucking it in that river. I guess it's good exercise. I've got this ignorant situation, I don't know the strength of the dog, but the river is certainly pushing through. And I guess the thing is, when the river's like this, you don't know what's coming down it. That's a nice bite there. It's fishing a 013 to 011 hook length, size 18 hook, blue hydro, 3 gram float. That rod. Oh, right. Well, I've missed that. That rod was bouncing like a crazy thing. Right. Not just catfish then. I said not just catfish. Not just crayfish. Right. It's thumping like a good one. They're boilies. Wow. So I think what we'll do is we'll put this one back out, and then I just need to change that camera angle. Put this one back out and then bring that other one in and switch it for a bunch of worms. Right, let's get this one back out. Let's get this one in. Plenty of weed on it. Mate, stop it with the dog already. Right. I need to change that to fluorocarbon hook length, really. He's got the worm. Put that there a second. Right. Should be alright with that stop. Look at that, looks beautiful, that does. It's got £5 perch written all over it. And I think I'm going to just chuck that in the middle of the river. First boat of the day coming. Yeah, I can hear the boat. It's alright. I see you, don't worry. Yeah, we know, we know. Thank you for being considerate though. Most people don't. What a nice lady. Normally the boat owners just come through here like it's a scene out of the movie Caddyshack, which is a slightly older reference. They come hacking through. You've got to slow down for the lock anyway. They come through here like you think they were speedboats. So I think we'll just lob that in the middle. And then what I might do is I might move them both to be on this short inside run. Let's move that. So we were trying to find somewhere this morning that we could I said I want to get the stream going. That sort of limits us to sort of parts of the river where I can get a decent signal without bringing down the Starlink. I see them maggots spinning. Is it? So it sort of limits us. And then the interesting thing is, you know, because there's loads of boats that moor here, ideally you want to come down at 10 o'clock, but we've got some other things to do today, so we had to come for an early start, try and get somewhere we could stream and it's better fish. And that made me think that the right thing to do was to come off. Just check that maggot's not doubled back over that hook point. That could be why you bumped the fish. He's not going to check it, doesn't care. So yeah, we've ended up on this spot, and if the stream's all right, then that's brilliant, because this is a lovely spot. I do plan to fish it quite a bit. It's a nice grassy bank. You're not too high off the river. The path to get is pretty easy. Well, it's easy for river fishing. It's a little walk. How many times has that dog jumped in that river? 15? It's a little walk. Chuck some caster out with your left hand if you can. Underwards. That way, son. Son? That way. Yeah, that's it. Try again. Couple of casters. Those from the side though. There. Out here. Out here. In again. Little roach. He's catching well. I'm very happy with the catch rate. I don't know if that camera's all in a decent position. Try it now. Just flick some out. But this way. Hit that like that. Okay, we'll put some in with the catapult. So yeah, it's all pretty good. Just gonna take a couple of pictures of him, I guess. Stream's good, is it? Good job, Zoe. Get rid of that. Just click on that. Yeah, it should be. It's a decent enough upload here. It would be better if I'd brought the notebook and stuff, and then it's a more reliable connection to the cameras. But I think in this sort of, there's a fish on that, rig's tangled, this is a little bit easier. Something is having a nibble on that left hand rod. See that? Ding, ding, ding. So it's having a nibble on the right hand rod. There's loads of crayfish in here, but there also is big perch. Okay, something's. Oh! You nearly. Oh, okay. All right. Do that again, and I'll hit you. No. That's live on camera, missing that bite. But good job, suggestion, Stephen. I don't know what that is. Could be a tiny little perch, but hopefully not. Yeah, that's it. Casting pro. Luckily that ground bait's sticky enough. Live fishing. all the pro action. That dog must be thinking, give it a rest, Dad. So maybe another little ball of ground bait would be good. If you can be accurate enough, you can throw it. Just a little conker sized ball. No, it's, well, all that you got to make it go in as a ball and not have all the bits fall off, really. If not, just cup a bigger ball back in. Yeah, he is doing all right. He's doing all right. He's doing all right. I taught him, you know, he started to fish catching F1s, top kit. Easy fishing, catch fish. I was trying to, you know, my memories of fishing with my dad are sitting down the Basingstoke Canal, my dad trying to catch a fish, waiting for hours, so I was just wandering up and down the canal, and then he would call me once he'd caught a fish, which would be a perch, and that was that. And that was, I think, how we went with my brother and went with me, and I think with my brother it didn't, that didn't work. There wasn't enough to get him interested in fishing. And then luckily we lived behind Willow Park in Ash, and so I used to go fishing over at Willow Park. And then ironically, I remember when I was about 13, I caught chicken pox. So I wasn't allowed to go to school for 2 weeks. And I went fishing every day for 2 weeks. And that sort of sealed the deal for me, for fishing. And I fell out of love with it, and then I fell back in love with it. So I wanted to give him a different, his left-hand rod's going, it just drop back. He's had a different experience. I've got filming everything going on now. I need more cameras. Right, he's had that roach, and these rods are flipping again. So I wanted him to have a different experience and catch more fish. So I used to take him to Gold, catching F1s on a top kit. And I think I'm doing all right. Now I'm introducing him to fishing on the river, which I never really got to do, and which is why my knowledge of fishing a river is not fantastic. And then and in between we're doing some other stuff like fishing for catfish and pike. So I think he's doing all right. He's got a lot to learn. But he's sort of getting it. Cup another ball of ground bait out. We just brought top 6 of the pole today. That was enough. Get these 2 rods in a rod bag, top 6, coupling kit, top kit. It's alright. Doing well, like you say. You can put some more, you can put some casters in the pot, and or some dead maggot in the pot with the ground bait. He's putting chopped worm in. Look at that, from nowhere. He decided he wants some chopped worm. Yeah, they're both broken, aren't they? But you don't, this doesn't matter for the way that you're going to do it. Look at that. How to make your dad proud. Sit and fish the pole, and then decide you're going to put some chopped worm in the river. So you're going to put that ground bait in, put that chopped worm. You can't put loose in. You can't put loose ground bait in the pot today. It's not going to work. So put that ground bait in that. Have you got a spare box? Put some ground bait in there, then put the chopped worm in there and some extra casters, and then make it into a ball and put it in the pot. Yeah? If you put loose ground bait in, it's just going to drift away straight away. You can do it on a lake, but not on a river. Put it into that bigger box, then you can make it into a ball, son. Okay, what's that on the left hand rod? I think that's not a fish, I think that's a stick. Alright. Too wet? How's it too wet? How's it too wet? Because of the chopped worm? We've been fishing. How can the ground bait be wet? Here. Put it in here. Put it in there. Put it in there. Okay. It's because of the chopped worm guts. Just a bit more ground bait. It's in there, is it? They put more caster in there. More dead maggot. adjustable.
I can't do that.
You put 2 balls out.
Yeah.
Put this one slightly to the right, only slightly to the right. Completely turning my back on my other rods. Okay, right hand rod is getting pulled, but that's not a fish, that's just the river. Let's try and let a bit more bow out, but that might not work now. But it's okay, I can work with that. I might recast that right hand rod in a second. Yeah, let's do that. It's that weed, I can see it. Chopworm rig does not look so appealing now, does it? Let's just hair rig a couple more denders on there. Yeah, I think the other thing that was always difficult when I was pretty convinced that's a fish. Was always having access to the right bait and enough of it, you know. I see so many people fishing this river. Well, and a little bit of knowledge. I see a lot of people fishing this river, and say to them, you know, have you caught anything? No. Okay. What bait are you using? Oh, a maggot. Okay, have you thrown any in? No. Okay, well you need to throw some bait in to encourage the fish to come to your peg. Sort of like a lack of knowledge, a lack of confidence to try things. I think a lot of people just want to catch, and they do something and then they're completely reluctant to change it to try and get a better result. But I'm rambling, or waffling I should say. Right, let's get this rig sorted out. Get this hair rig back out. Rigs today are pretty simple. I've got a 50 gram feeder just on a run ring, just down to a bead and a Guru bait stop. Hook length, which is 0.19, because I've not switched the main line on these reels to 10-pound line yet. So what is that then? It's not a fish. What was causing that to bend around like that so much? Just try chucking it a little bit up the stream. Yeah, so rigs are pretty simple. I need to change the main line on these reels to 10 pound. It's a nice roach, and then I can make the whole length's out of £10 fluorocarbon. That's it. It's a lovely roach. Do you want a picture? It's worth a quick picture, that is, son. And you've got to twist the disgorger and then push. That's it. Shoot. Just open your hand. Lovely. Smile. Smile. It's over. Put that cupping kit alongside the riverbank, yeah? Right, where are we? Left hand rod's out towards the tree, right hand rod's out in the middle, right hand rod's got a worm on it, left hand rod's got a 16mm halibut pellet. I've got a krill based Big River krill ground bait today. Chucked a can of sweet corn in it as well and some casters. Just doing the business. Smells beautiful. Just the angler on the end that's letting this process down. My son's doing really well. Oh yeah, Stephen, I do know your son. I do know your son. He was unlucky at Todber Manor against Pem the other week. I watched all 5 hours of that video. Well, 3.5 of the 4 hours. I think Pem was 20 odd fish ahead of him for the whole match. But yeah, I know your boy from Fishing at Gold. He's a great angler. Heron and another heron. So yeah, we are blessed. It takes us 10 minutes to 10 minutes to get to the river from where we live. And it's a lovely bit of river. This boat's coming along, so I have to move my rod. Because we live in the town, we also get free fishing on the stretch. Because the council own the rights here. Belongs to the town, as it were. So that's all good. So we're very blessed with that. Unfortunately, while we continue to move further away from, you know, Gold, which I would say is my match fishing home these days, the river's producing some fantastic sport. And in this stretch here, it's absolutely solid with silvers. Left hand rod just went dink dink. Loads of roach, chublets, dace, bleak, big perch up to £3 that we've had. If you walk down the river from us, you come to a pub called the Nag's Head. There's chub, and they're easily £7 that swim around the back of the pub, and then venture out further up the stretch. I'm told there's £20 carp in the weir pool to our right. We've had an 18 pound pike out of the weir pool. I'm told they're £20 plus. And actually that fish that we caught in the spring is easily going to be a £20 fish in the winter. So we're going to go piking back up there in a few months' time. And I'm told that there's barbel high double figures. I'm talking £16 plus in this stretch. And I think that as winter approaches, we'll get a few more of these rods out. But while we can still fish the pole, you know, have a great few hours sport, then we're gonna do it. So the river's given us plenty of options. Plenty of options. And then even a bit later in the year, November time, we hold a lock and weir license, so we're able to fish on the right hand side of the lock, where it's really deep and there's solid with perch there. So loads of options, but I think I'm gonna have to knock him off that pole in a minute and have a go. Careful with that rig, you don't want that hook length to tangle. Just got to get him to try and learn how to cap. Watching you. Watching you with the catapult. Well, certainly something that's big enough to grab hold of that rig and give it a thump on that rod. That right hand rod again. So there's big perch. We've caught perch. I've had fish over £3 the other side of the lock and the weir. He's had £3 plus down from here in this stretch. So there are really big perch in this stretch, we know that. Remember, hold that pole to the right and give that rig a chance to settle as much as you can before it then runs through your peg. Yeah, but you're giving that as much room to settle, so that's on the as far down as it can be, and then run it through. Otherwise it doesn't settle till it's there. And now you've got a bite there, you might find that there's, hold the pole to the right, get that rig to settle, and then let it go. And you'll find maybe you catch further up your peg. No, come on, lift it out. Do better than that. Right, that's enough of the parenting. I'm going to have to get him off that pole in a sec, we'll have a go. What's the time? We got till just, was it 10 past 10? We've got till, what time do we got to pack up? Oh, we've got another good roach or something. He kept on getting plagued with pike in this stretch last week. It's the flow's too much for the pike today, I think. I don't know. I think just here it might be too much for the pike. I'd love to fish towards those, all that overhanging. This is an island just in front. The river separates just to the right of it from the weir, breaks around this island. It's shallow here at the back, as you can see the snags. But up along there by those trees that overhang into the water in the summer, I would love actually to fish a long pole up against those. I think that could be really good. Look, we're still exploring the river and the pegs, as it were. We'll try and understand as much as we can. Something showed interest in that right hand rod on that worm. He's going to bite a shark. He's not eating them because he's not paying enough attention, I think. Some weeds gone into my left hand rod, just made it bend over. Good roach, they're all good roach. I think they're too bleak. Everything else has been a 3-4 ounce plus roach. Yeah, see. Be interesting to know what the weights on the Thames Festival would have been if they'd have been next week, not a couple of weeks ago. But there's some cracking weights. Pegs where the bream showed up. You know, John Arthur's 52 pound in the first day, I think it was. Which in terms of rivers is not, you know, it's not a million miles away from where we are. windy morning today, overcast, feels like it's going to rain any second. But the fishing's good, that's for sure. Well, on the pole, as I said, I'm not really committed to these two rods today. I was more interested in making sure that he caught some fish on the pole, because we wouldn't really fish this peg, this stretch actually, to fish with these. It's another good roach. It's absolutely solid. No attracting the pike, please. It's another nice roach. Yeah, I think if I was more committed to these two rods to try and catch a chub, we wouldn't fish here today. There's better places on the river and on the tickets that I've got that are here, but I wanted to live stream it, so. No, we're at Abingdon. We're on the Abingdon stretch. So it's Abingdon Lock just to my right, up there. And that's the weir pool. And then we're on the grass bank down from Abingdon Lock. So you've got sort of this stretch. And then you come to the road bridge that goes through Abingdon town, down to our left, downstream. And then you've got another stretch the same sort of distance, and then you get to the cricket fields, and then that's where the start of the Thames festival is, on the Abingdon stretch. And fishing there was an option today, but I don't have a good enough signal to stream it. And I fancied streaming this morning, so I said, right, we're going to go and fish up where I know we can get a decent stream. So yeah, right by Abingdon Lock. And this is, you know, I would say this is it's, you know, it's fished, but, you know, I don't really count someone walking along with a lure rod, chucking a lure for, you know, 5 minutes and then walking on. You know, it's not what I would call fish or pressured. There's a local little club that fishes once a month, so that's not pressure in it. And every time we come down here, it's pretty much us. So it feels a lot like our own private fishery. And I've just gone down to look at that, and the right hand rod's bounced, and he's caught another roach. And that left hand rod's got some weed on it, but I can see the weed, so I'm going to recast. Can I have a go on the pole? Right, just put the rig safe.